let's do a before and after. Yes, always so good. So we'll start coffee date with basic coffee.
Listen, that is totally fine.
Yes. See guys? Basic.
Totally okay.
You hear Maury in the background? She's gonna do my face. She's gonna do my face. So we're gonna do basic coffee first, and then we'll do real coffee next, because we're gonna be caffeinated all day. So if y'all ready for a really fun girls trip, photo shoot day, coffee date, get your coffee, get your words, and let's go. Okay, so I'm back, and obviously I'm no longer out of town. I'm no longer in the car. I'm no longer at the photo shoot. I am home, and I will be super transparent. My thought process was, okay, I'm gonna finish the coffee date in the car after we get done with pictures and blah blah blah. I totally fell asleep. I 1000% fell asleep. It was a very long morning, and my body was like, yeah, no, you're gonna catch up on sleep like right now. I think Lee was talking to me at one point, and the next thing I was just out cold. So here we are. I'm at home. I hear little feet coming, so somebody may join us in a second. And I have water now. I have finished my coffee, but earlier, like I let you know, I did have coffee from Starbucks. It was the iced chestnut praline latte. I did not get the whipped cream, but I absolutely had the whole milk, and it was delicious. So that was the coffee, but actually we are consuming water right now. And if you ever need a recommended water, Smart Water is it for me. I really love this one. My second one is Zephyr Hills. They taste nothing alike, but those are my two favorite waters. So if you're ever looking for a water to try, Smart Water is at the top of my list. I love it. And so yay. Now let's get into the scripture for today. Because we've had a lot of fun, but I want to make sure that we get the word in, because we are starting the week together, and we want to have all the things that we need to have an effective week. So fun, relaxation, boundaries, all of those things are what we need to have an effective week, but we also need the word. So Ephesians 1 verses 18 and 19. Ephesians 1 verse 18 and 19. I pray that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened, so that you may know what is the hope of his calling, what is the wealth of his glorious inheritance in the saints, and what is the immeasurable greatness of his power towards us who believe, according to the mighty working of his strength. That's the CSB version of Ephesians 1 verse 18 through 19. And again, I pray that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened, so that you may know what is the hope of his calling, what is the wealth of his glorious inheritance in the saints, and what is the immeasurable greatness of his power towards us who believe, according to the mighty working of his strength. Ephesians 1, 18 and 19. So it's important. I love these scriptures because it really calls us to open our minds and our hearts to God. I think that sometimes we believe God, that we trust God, that we're ready for what God has for us. And I am definitely in this season, in this place of where I have realized that I have said yes, I have not committed to the yes, and now I am committing to the yes. And really fully trusting that he is who he says he's going to be to me and for my family and for those in my circle. And so understanding that it's a hope in his calling, it's faith in his calling, it's belief in his calling, it's belief in his words, and what the wealth is for us. It's our inheritance. It's something that he set aside for us. It's something that he has been intentional about. And all it requires is us opening our minds and our eyes to that and seeing that there is the responsibility and a requirement of us having faith in what he has said and what his calling is and what he's directing us to, for us to really tap into the inheritance, right? We can't just say it. We actually have to activate the yes. We have to activate our faith so that our eyes are open to what actually an inheritance is. Because sometimes we try to quantify it for God. Like, it's going to be this amount of money, it's going to be this job, it's going to be this lifestyle, it's going to be this state of mind, it's going to be this level of health. And the reality is that our inheritance in him could be something completely different. But once we have tapped in and activated our faith and opened our hearts and minds to what it is he's actually calling us to and what he set aside for us, then there is an illumination. Because again, we have to come outside of these boxes that we have placed around God. We have to, what's a good way of putting this? We have to broaden our imagination about his ability. That's the phrase I'm looking for. We have to broaden our imagination concerning his ability. Because again, the word says there is an immeasurable greatness of his power towards us who believe. Towards us who believe. And it is that belief, it is that activation of the belief that really begins to highlight and to enhance and to activate this greatness that it's talking about. According to the mighty working of his strength, we have to believe that he has the power, he has the ability to do all the things that we need, but even more than that. Even more than that, because we'll put this box around him or regulate him to just doing this or just doing a piece of this. And the word is very, very clear. That's not how this works. That's not how this works, right? He wants to do exceeding abundantly above all we could ask or think. And we have to begin to broaden our imagination about what that is. Because it says above what we ask or think. That's the word. It says above what we ask or think. But how do we get to a place of where we actually realize that? Where that's actually, what's the popular phrase? Where that's actually manifested in our life. How do we get there? How do we get there? By activating our faith. By praying that our eyes and hearts are open to the hope of his calling. And so what is the wealth of his glorious inheritance for the saints? You have to become specific in your prayers. And it's important because your prayer can't just be about, God, I want or I need this. But God, show me what I need. Show me what it is that you have set aside for me. Show me the plan on how to get there. Like, change your prayers to match his calling, because you need to activate your faith concerning it. And you need to know what you're activating your faith for, right? But remember that there is an inheritance set aside for you. And so you have to get clear about that thing, because it's not haphazard. It's not something random. It's not some arbitrary number. It's not something just out in the ether. It is something very specific that he has set aside for you as a part of your inheritance. But your eyes or your imagination has to be broadened concerning it so that you can realize what the hope is of his calling. What is the immeasurable greatness of his power toward us who believe. It says, I pray that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened so that you may know what is the hope of his calling. And that's what we're talking about, right? Being specific about what you're praying for. God, what am I believing for? What am I pushing for? What am I striving for? Not my personal wants and gains, God, but what is it that you have set aside for me that I need to be pursuing? This is the inheritance that you have for me. How do I get in position to receive it? I don't want to restrict you and your giving. I don't want to restrict the blessing of following you. Open the eyes of my heart that I can know the hope of your calling. This week, there are going to be some things that you are battling with and you're feeling like, okay, I need you to answer this very specifically. I need you to do this. But remember this scripture and what it is that you're actually praying for. God, activate my faith to not only handle this situation, but to propel me to the next one. Activate my faith that I know what it means to trust you and to believe you at your word, that you've already handled this. This is not my concern. My concern is being in position over here. It's important that this week, when those things come to distract you and make you feel like things are falling behind, or that you've been forgotten, or that it's impossible for you to stand up under the weight, that there is an immeasurable greatness in God. Immeasurable greatness. And it is activated through the mighty working of his strength. But you have to believe in it. You have to believe in the mighty working of his strength. You have to believe in the capabilities of God to be God. Open the eyes of our hearts, God, so that we may know the hope of your calling. Things seem impossible. It seems like there is no way that you're going to be able to do what's in your heart or what you believe that God is telling you is going to come. I get that. I am there. I do. But we're asking him to open our hearts to that. The eyes of our heart to that, so that we can see it in its fullness, and that so we can understand the hope, the faith, the requirement of our faith to step into the inheritance that is already set aside for us. And that it is his immeasurable greatness towards us that's already ours. It's already ours. We're ending the year. I'm going to have a couple more Mondays together in 2021. Are you going to make every week count? Are you going to question and doubt God? Or are you going to believe that as you begin to take really intentional steps of following and trusting him, that he's going to illuminate the path before you? Just as you're asking him to broaden your imagination, he is going to illuminate the path so that you begin to see, what it is that he has set aside for you. Because you're not thinking big enough. You're not thinking long-term enough. You're not thinking great enough. And as we go into 2022, I want to think bigger. I want to experience bigger. I want to activate bigger through the mighty working of his strength. That's what I want to do. So that's it. That's all I got this week. So make sure, that you hold on to Ephesians 1, verse 18 through 19, that you drink plenty of water, not just the caffeine, but plenty of water. Stay hydrated, especially because we're preparing to finish up all of this Christmas shopping. At least I know I am, because I haven't started. But let's not go there. But stay hydrated, stay happy and well. Make sure that you like and subscribe, and that you share with your girls, because we want to grow the community, especially in 2022. There are some amazing things that I have planned that God has broadened my imagination about what it is that he wants me to do and how I'm supposed to do it. And I want you to be there for it. So be sure to like and subscribe and leave your comments below. I love reading your comments and hearing your thoughts about our Monday chats together. And if you have not purchased your ticket to Woman 2022, make sure that you do. Go to petrapindar.com/events, grab the last couple of tickets, or email us at inquiries@petrapindar.com to get the group rate. Guys, it is going to be bomb. We are celebrating 5 years of Woman to Woman, and we're doing all things popping. Like, what's gonna be popping off? It's gonna be a thing. I don't want you to miss it. But more importantly, I don't want you to miss a moment to activate your faith concerning you. There were things that I had no idea that I was going to be doing that I'm doing right now, and I want to encourage you to do the same. So don't miss Woman to Woman on February 12th, 2022. Grab your tickets at petrapindar.com/events. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel and get ready for some amazing things in the next coming weeks. All right, that's it. Make it a great week, pretty. Bye.